If it's not stage 6 blackouts we are dealing with, it's heavy rains, and those are wreaking havoc in Gauteng, with areas around the Vaal area system now being flooded. Authorities have been forced to open 12 sluice gates as the Vaal Dam has filled to overflowing after exceeding its 100% capacity. Several areas have been battered, with residents being evacuated. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu has been following this story for us, and he joins me now. Good afternoon to you once again, Manqoba. So, of course, earlier on, we did see the rescue efforts for one of the ladies who was trapped in that container with her dogs. What have we had since then?
Well, Moran, I can tell you that the situation continues to be quite tense here and quite dire here in the Vaal. Just a short while ago, Moran, we saw that dramatic rescue that had taken place here, where several people have been rescued. We understand one of those that was saved was one of the ladies that was trapped in one of the containers, and she was saved by the police helicopter that had come into the area to assist with those recovery efforts. We know that there was also a vehicle that had been trapped in the water that was also rescued. The driver of that vehicle was rescued. There were also some of the occupants of a house here that were also saved from the house. So there's been quite a lot of recovery operations that have been taking place by here. But I want to show you here, Morena, this is one of the streets here in the Vaal that has been affected, that has been closed due to the flooding that has occurred in this area. As you can see, Morena, traffic has now been prevented from using this particular stretch of road due to the danger that it poses now. But if you look here on the left, Morena, and I'm going to ask my colleague Lakibulanga just to show you here, you can clearly see just the impact of this flooding here in this particular area. This is, of course, after the Department of Water and Sanitation had issued a warning to communities along the Vaal River, alerting them of possible flooding after it had opened the sluice gates at the dam, the Vaal Dam. This is because of the fact that it had reached its capacity. In fact, we understand that as of yesterday, it was at 110% in terms of being full, and they had to open 2 more sluice gates this morning, which brings the number of those sluice gates to 12. Some of the houses, of course, as you can see, are submerged in water, and you can see the gushing water here. That's just shows you the force of this flood here in this area, and of course, people are being evacuated. We also saw people leaving their homes, trying to salvage whatever they could from their homes, and it just came, Morena, so suddenly. According to some of the residents that we had spoken to, they were saying that in the morning, they didn't expect that this was going to happen here. In fact, one of the families that we spoke to here was telling us, Morena, that they saw the water starting to rise, and they tried to get some of their possessions outside and just to try and salvage their possessions. But as soon as they had been in the house, that's when they saw the water rising rapidly, and they managed though to escape and to get outside of their house. But Muran, I just want to get one of the residents here just to explain here. There are many of them that are here on the street. Some of them are assisting those that had been trying to move their belongings. And sir, just to get a sense from you, how are you feeling about what you're seeing here as a resident here? Surely this is something you didn't expect.
No, the last time we saw something similar like this was in 1976, when the water also rose like that, and in 2011 it also came up quite high. We located just below the barrage, and water has risen approximately 7 meters there from standard level.
So in terms of evacuation, sir, are there any plans? Has anything been communicated to you as residents what's going to happen now in terms of evacuations, in terms of what's going to happen?
There was 50 families on a farm next to ours that were staying there permanently that was evacuated earlier today. Downstream they're also evacuating fairly rapidly because I can see the water rising. Yeah.
And someone was telling me that it just happened rapidly. They just saw water just rising rapidly.
What happened was they gave it notice on social media that they're opening sluices. But the main problem is water like this that doesn't go through the sluices at Vaal Dam. That's causing some of the major problems at the moment, because this rising is causing a rising drastically of the river in very short notice.
All right. Thank you, sir, for speaking to us. Well, those are just some of the residents that are here. Some of them are here, of course, just to see, the flooding that's happening here. They're in disbelief at what they are seeing here. There are many of those houses that has been affected. I'm just going to ask my colleague Lucky Bulanga just to show you also this side so that you can have a sense of the devastation here in this community. These were people's houses that have been flooded. Some of them totally submerged underwater, and families have had to evacuate. Many, in fact, I would say hundreds of people are displaced, and really some of them telling us earlier, Morena, that they'll now have to try and find other alternative accommodation. They'll ask from relatives. They'll also speak, to the local municipality just to try and find out what the sense is in terms of their intervention. We have been trying to speak to the Mfuleni local municipality. We've not received any response from the municipality as far as their plans are concerned of trying to deal with issues of accommodation as well as evacuation of people. But what we have seen here on the ground, rather, are the paramedics and those emergency services that have been here, that have been helping those that had been, trapped inside those houses. And of course, we've also been seeing police here on the ground, and we've seen some of the emergency workers also going into boats, just checking around the different houses just to see whether there were still people that were trapped inside. And some of the people that we spoke to in the other areas where they were evacuating earlier on, saying that this is now the third time that they've had a flood in this particular area, but never had they seen such a big flood like this as it's taking place right now. The last, they say, was about 10 years ago, when this area was also hit by flooding. But earlier on, I did speak to some of those that are evacuating their homes, and Morena, let's just take a listen to what some of them had to say.
I've been staying in this area for ever since I was born, so it's been about 20 years, and I haven't seen floodwaters rise this quickly. We had a flood in 2021, but it to my knowledge, in this area, as long as we've been staying here, it hasn't been this high. It hasn't risen this quickly. And I think it's a bit, it's shocking, to be honest, but what can you do? There are people who have prepared, they have some other places to go, but it's a dire situation, as you have said.
They came to get me out. The water started to come into our container. We had this flood 2 years ago, but it was not that bad. And then we put up this container for if we do flood, so we can come here with the dogs and be safe. And my husband made it 1.2 or something meter in the air. So when the water comes starting there, so it's very, very high, the water. Never seen it like this.
Manqoba, it is quite concerning that the Mfuleni municipality has not come back to you, or has even not come back to the residents to give them some kind of idea as to what exactly it is they are doing to ensure that this is not something that the people of the Vaal experience again in another 10 years, that they have got actual plans in place to fix the drainage. But we'll leave it there with you for now, as you find other people to speak to and try and get a better sense of what exactly it is that is happening. That is our reporter, Manqoba Mchunu, coming to us, of course, from the Vaal Triangle, where, as you could see just in the background with him there, how dire the situation really is there. Hearing also the comments from people that are in and around that area, that one of them saying that it happened in 1976, it happened again in 2011, and it is happening now in 2023, but that the municipality is not coming out to say that, okay, we acknowledge that a situation of this nature has taken place and this is what we are doing, is actually quite concerning. So hopefully they do manage to at least get back to Manqoba Mchunu about that.